can creep in secretly and tell you life is not worth living. If you listen at discouragement, you will wonder if you're ever going to get out of what you're into. There are moments that try the human soul so violently and so perplexing that if the truth were told, all of us have had moments that we wanted to throw up our hands and walk away. Don't deviate, don't procrastinate, don't become frustrated. All you have to do to win this battle is stay on track.
Do you ever have a day where you just think, fuck it, I can't be asked to do anything. I'm not going for a run, I'm not stretching, I'm doing nothing.
Every day. I can't do it. There may be some days I get up with poopy pants and I'm like, you know what, man? Fuck this, man. Like, why am I having this such a structured life? Why? And I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm done with this shit. And I sit around and I say, okay, so you want to be normal. So you just want to be like everybody else that roams the world, not knowing the power that's in them, being fine with being mediocre. And I'm like, fuck that, man.
And you have that conversation with yourself every day?
Not every day, it's those bad days. Yeah. It's those bad days. I see a whole bunch of people walking around out here who have no idea how talented they truly are. And I'm talking about talent, like some God-given ability. Talent that sometimes you have to hone, you have to work on, and you have to harness yourself. And they just walk around just on their phones, just clueless to how powerful they are.
I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
I have never met anybody who became incredibly successful in any area of their life until they had suffered and sweated and sacrificed and kept their focus and fought through tears and trials and tests. And if you have a dream and you commit to it, it will come to pass. It's an urge. Truth be told, every champion has felt it. Every president has felt it. Every king has felt it. Every lion has felt it. Every winner has felt it. Every soldier has felt it. Every victorious person has felt it. The urge to quit. Don't you give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money, you don't have the help, and you don't have the family for it, and you don't have the background for it, and you don't have the friends for it. Don't you give up on your dream. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It may take you twice as long. You may have to take courses and classes. You might not read as fast. You might not move as quick. You might not have as much, but don't you quit. It is good to be uncomfortable. I've never met anybody who was terribly creative or gifted or strong in leadership who was also comfortable. It's always those people who say, is there not a cause? Those exceptional people who are uncomfortable with the times and rise to the challenge because they refuse to allow the chaos around them to determine the conqueror within them. People who resist the toll to go down and stand fiercely in spite of opposition and say, I'm going to do it anyway. It is the chaos of the time that creates the conqueror in the main. So when God gets ready to reveal to you what you have in you, he will often place you in the midst of chaos to push you.
There are a lot of negative things in the world. There's a lot of terrible things that are happening all over the world, all the time. There are lots of problems that need to get solved. There's lots of things that are miserable and kind of get you down. But life cannot just be about solving one miserable problem after another. That can't be the only thing. There need to be things that inspire you, that make you glad to wake up in the morning and be part of humanity. It is time to go forth, become a star-faring civilization, be out there among the stars, expand the scope and scale of human consciousness. I find that incredibly exciting. That makes me glad to be alive. I hope you feel the same way.
Love is not a feeling. We're watching too many movies. Love is what you do in spite of what you feel. Love is fighting for the good of someone else, even if they never see the value or the sacrifice that you did to get love to them. Love is what Jesus did on that cross, and love didn't feel good. He wasn't on the cross about, man, this is so refreshing. Boy, this is, man, boy, that way they put that nail in there, boy, oh, man. No, that's love, but love sometimes hurts. We don't understand the depth of the love that we are recipients of because in our minds we can't really comprehend the level of pursuit it took to get to us.
I heard a quote today. Growth is painful. Change is painful. But nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. Be not afraid of growing slowly, but afraid of only standing still.
This might be hard for you to hear. In your life, you will inevitably misspeak, trust the wrong person, underreact, overreact, hurt the people who didn't deserve it, overthink, not think at all, self-sabotage, create a reality where only your experience exists, ruin perfectly good moments for yourself and others, deny any wrongdoing, not take the steps to make it right, feel very guilty, let the guilt eat at you, hit rock bottom, finally address the pain you caused, try to do better next time, rinse, repeat. These mistakes will cause you to lose things. Losing things doesn't just mean losing. A lot of the time, when we lose things, we gain things too.
We exist in a world today where everything can be faked or fixed. Remind yourself that this perfect world you see online are presented to you through so many different filters. So do not set impossible goals of meeting those fake standards. We are all imperfectly beautiful, so let's embrace that. Embracing your natural beauty does not exclude anyone. You can be naturally beautiful with acne or scars, cellulite or curves. So let's celebrate each other and ourselves as we are, as we will be, and as we were meant to be. Unique, imperfect, beautiful, and so incredibly powerful.
I really don't know what success means to me, but I think for me, to be truly successful is to be at peace with myself and to be happy with every day. You know, so for me, it's not the material things, it's not the numbers, because there's always more. You can be number one and then you'll still want to keep going at that. So as far as material things are concerned, I think there's no end to it. You'll just, you know, people want more and more and more, and that's human nature. But to be truly at peace with yourself, that is success for me.
The worst kind of person is someone who makes someone feel bad, dumb, or stupid for like being excited about something.
No, I hear that.
The worst type of person. Like, I don't think you should ever have to apologize for your excitement just because it's like, I don't know, just because something's cliche doesn't mean that it's not something that's awesome.
Anyone that hasn't realized how special they are to have a different story, a different background, a name that honors their roots because they just want to be normal, whatever the hell that means, just know that no matter where you're from or your background or what you believe in, never let that get in the way of you and your dreams because you deserve it.
If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. it is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself.
I want to offer a few statements of my own that I have struggled with and continue to struggle with on a daily basis, but that I have found inspiring. I am willing to be seen. I am willing to speak up. I am willing to keep going. I am willing to listen to what others have to say. I am willing to go forward even when I feel alone. I am willing to go to bed each night at peace with myself. I am willing to be my biggest, bestest, most powerful self.
No matter what people perceive of me, I always shine through at the end of the day. So I've had a lot of people try to tear me down, but I'm here. And I've always been myself, and I've always wanted that, and I've been graceful, and I've tried to handle myself with as much class, and it's only because I know how hard I work, and I'm not gonna let any of that get to me.
What do you say to those viewers that don't pursue their dreams and are locked in their careers because they are too afraid to take risks and pursue something meaningful?
Well, the first thing I would say is, well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable.
I think the hardest lesson a young person has to learn in their 20s is you are not the main character in everybody's story.
Wow.
You're the main character in your own.
And that's it.
I have a saying, you know, they kick you when you're down, but they want to kick it when you're up. I've always been told no, and I always took them no's and turned them to yes, you know what I'm saying? And I always believed in my path and my vision, even though I know you have to go through trials and tribulations in life, but I do know there's sunshine on the other side. You know, I do know there's a goal, there's a victory. Winning ain't easy. Success don't come overnight. This is 25 years of blood, sweat, and tears before I got on this show, before I made a #1 record, before Jay-Z became one of my partners. This is like never surrender, never giving up, never stopping. You know what I'm saying? And some days it was real stormy, and I made it through it.
People have this reoccurring nightmare that there's something, some force that's got a hold of them and it's holding them down and they can't break free. No matter what they do, they can't break free from that force. Well, I'm here to tell you that that thing in your nightmare, that thing that's holding you back, that thing that's dragging you down, that thing is you.
There are two fundamental attitudes toward life and its sorrows. Those with the first attitude blame the world. Those with the second ask what they could do differently. It's much easier and much more gratifying to your basest desires to blame someone else for your misery.
You know what's so funny? We want people to make guarantees to us, but we're not willing to make guarantees to ourselves. And that's the problem with some of you. You always want to blame other people. You owe you an explanation. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why are you only giving 50%? What's wrong with you? You need to put yourself on punishment. You need to tell you no more TV, no more snacks, no more desserts. No, we working out now. You need to tell you that you owe you something. Every day I demand more from myself than anybody else could humanly expect. I'm not competing with somebody else, I'm competing with what I'm capable of. My #1 competition is me. It's always you versus you. You gotta be the one to get up every morning, be disciplined, put in the consistent daily hard work, because that gains success. No coach, no trainer, no mentor, no boss can do it. You versus you. I value myself enough to give 120% or don't do it. There is no excuse for not living up to your fullest potential. No excuse. You walk out of this room, you owe yourself. I didn't get here making excuses. What changed? I changed.
And I stopped being a victim. I stopped saying, I've got to wait for good things to happen to me. And I said, I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day to become a victor and not a victim. Why? Because I owe it to myself. Can't nobody stop me but me.
You get hit with a false reality that this is your life and this is what it's going to be forever. Oh my God, you're famous and you make money forever. That's not the case. And if you're not a person that can understand that, you get caught up in the matrix. And when that goes away, you don't know what life is because you fell into the perception that life is this fake fictional presentation. And it's not. Life changes, there's ups and downs. Moments are great and then they're bad. And entertainment, that's what it is. So just because we're hot today does not mean we'll be hot tomorrow. But the smart people that are hot today prepare for the times when they may not be hot.
You've got to change your strategies, and changing your strategy means reinventing your life, recreating you, and you have the power to do that. You can decide that you're going to change, that you're not going to be a wimp. You can decide that you're going to stand up to life. You can decide that I'm going to live each day as if it were my last.
You can't always win, but don't be afraid of making decisions. You can't be paralyzed by fear of failure, or you will never push yourself. You keep pushing because you believe in yourself and in your vision. And you know that it's the right thing to do, and success will come, so don't be afraid to fail.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living.
I think with any level of success, you're gonna get negativity. The thing is how do you handle it? You can feed negativity with negative responses, or you can feed negativity with success. At the end of the day, if you continue to do what you do to the best of your ability, the people that are being negative have to evaluate themselves and go, yo, instead of taking the time to be angry, maybe I just need to go and do what I'm supposed to do on my side.
People should just realize that I'm not going to have any sympathy for any of those things, you know, when someone says it's difficult, because there is a lot of things in life that are difficult. And you have to ask yourself the question right off the top, you know, are you going to be one of those guys that are going to go and back off every time something is difficult? Or do you want to be one of those guys that says, look, it doesn't matter if it's easy or difficult, I'm going to go and crush through it. That's me. That's the person that I want to be, and I'm going to prove it to myself, and I'm going to prove it to the rest of the world.
If I look back on anything I've ever done, mistakes I've ever made, paths that something that I put out that I didn't quite think, man, maybe I just waited 3 months before I released that, or maybe I should have, re-edited that blog post a couple more times before I put it online, or those things drive me crazy. The things that I've done have driven me crazy, yelling at someone I didn't have to yell at them for, whatever. But the most important thing is always for all people to recognize that you're not who you were a year ago. You're not who you were 5 years ago. You're not who you were last week. You're who you are now, and this is the only you have control over. So you gotta regulate how much you dwell on regrets of the past. You really gotta be careful. A lot of factors happen in life, but for sure, who I am now wouldn't have ever happened if I didn't fuck up, if I didn't make those mistakes. Life is strange, there's a lot going on.
You want it, and you're gonna go all out to have it. It's not going to be easy. When you want to change, it's not easy. If it were in fact easy, everybody would do it. But if you're serious, you'll go all out. I suggest to you that if you are facing a challenge, don't stop. Stay busy. Work your plan. Continue to do those things that you know that work for you after you have evaluated yourself in the situation. Continue to move. Stay busy, stay busy, stay busy.